Hello and welcome everybody to Game 3 of Top vs TT1 from the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge played in New York City last week. Spawning here in the bottom left position, or I guess this is, I'll call it the 7 o'clock position, as the blue Terran. Playing for Team OGS, we have Top. Spawning here in the 3 o'clock position as the pink Protoss. Playing for Team FnaticMSiTT1, we have TT1. This best of 3 is currently tied 1-1 at this point in time. Top was able to take Game 1 by just playing nice and defensive, and TT1 was just not able to break Top at all. Definitely had some attacks that were not at all cost effective, and Top pretty much just forced a GG out of TT1, didn't even have to attack, and TT1 was just GG'd out of it. In Game 2, however, TT1 was able to come back with a beautiful win, as Top just went for a big one-base siege tank marine style of aggression in the early game, and TT1 just had a beautiful, absolutely amazing engagement and was able to completely defuse the attack with some nice force fields, was able to flank his opponent and take out all the siege tanks behind the Marines, and the Marines were basically just cleaned up by all the zealots of TT1, and TT1 was able to take Game 2 with ease. Now, going into Game 3, definitely going to be curious to see how Top is going to be trying to set up this game. Whether he's going to once again try to go for some early aggression, or whether he's going to be going back to that macro style of play. Top definitely capable of doing a lot of that macro style of play. He's a very strong player from Korea. Definitely very good at early aggression. Very good at macro styles of play. But early aggression, of course, being something that's very common on the Korean ladder. The Korean ladder, it's kind of a way of the Koreans deal with their problems very differently from the way Americans do. This is actually something that Day 9 talked about in a recent interview at the what was it? It was at the Red Bull LAN. That was what it was at. It was actually really cool. The Red Bull LAN, for those of you that don't know, was like a little bit of a training session that just went on recently. Very cool. Red Bull basically paid to put up a whole bunch of StarCraft players in one big giant room with just tons of StarCraft players there, not to compete, but just to practice. They set them up into small groups, and basically they all just played practice games. All professional StarCraft players just practicing. It was very good practice. And they all just talked about how really fun it was and how really amazing it was. Day 9 was there to cast a lot of the practice games there, just so that people could watch them over the internet, and it was just really cool to watch. I watched a lot of the games from there. It was just really cool to see all the pros just practicing with other professional StarCraft players. So amazing. Absolutely appreciate that Red Bull did that. But in that talk with Day 9, in that interview at the Red Bull LAN, as I was saying, he was talking about how different it is, that the way that Koreans deal with problems in StarCraft 2. Generally, anytime new strategies come up in StarCraft 2, whereas Americans and North Americans and European players will tend to think more along the lines of, well, how do I deal with that push? How do I hold out against that kind of a push and play defensively, survive that push, and then come back with a build that counters that kind of aggression or that kind of push? Then the Koreans, on the other hand, try to say, well, how can I attack early and effectively so that they don't even have time to get that attack up? Early attacks are much more highly valued in Korean-style StarCraft 2 play. And I thought that was a very interesting comment that Day 9 made, and I think it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It's why you see a lot of more what Americans and North American players would call cheese on the Korean style, on the Korean servers, because they tend to go for a lot of very early aggression. If you play on the Korean servers, you will see that there's a lot of cheesing going on. There's a lot of cannon rushes, a lot of foregating, lots of very early timed attacks, just because that's just the way they approach their problems. Is they approach their problems by early aggression and trying to beat an opponent's build by just getting an aggressive attack that kind of diffuses it before it gets up and running. Now, I've been spending a lot of time talking about other things, so I really need to jump into this game here. Now, looks like both players have managed to get up a fairly fast expansion. Both players now mining at their natural expansion. oGsTOP once again going for this macro style of play where he's getting up a lot of bunkers as he just gets up a lot of workers at both of his bases right now. Checking out the harvester count right now, we can see that TT1 is ahead 33 harvesters to 25, but once again, Top keeping up just fine because he, of course, has those mules, which help so much in economy. In the base of TT1 right now, we currently have 3 gates up as well as a robo, so it looks like it's going to be a 3-gate robo play out of TT1 here. Sentry count is starting to get up here for TT1, so TT1 definitely choosing to play very, very standard in this final match. But in the base of top right now, looks like we do have 3 barracks currently going down. Factory now being constructed, gonna come up very, very soon. Gonna be interested to see whether he's gonna be sitting on factory tech or no, looks like he's gonna be going for starport tech here fairly early in the game. Will he be using this to produce a Banshee, or will he be using this just to get medevacs up for his Marines as he is now getting down? Whoa, looks like a 1 tech lab and a reactor. Looks like it's gonna be a bit of a bioforce here out of top, unless he is thinking that he's going to be swapping this reactor and these tech labs onto the buildings he has. No, it looks like the factory is now going to be used as a scout factory. It's now moving across the map. At this point in time, TT1 does have that Xel'Naga watchtower, and I'm going to see, actually, I want to see this, whether he's planning on swapping the starport immediately onto this reactor or tech lab here. Looks like we do have more Marines still being produced here for top, and once this finishes, looks like we do have a medevac on the way, so it looks like he's just going to be sticking to a bioforce with medevac support here at this point in time. And now the factory's moving across the map, is going to be able to get into the space and scout that there are 3 warp gates and a robo up at this point in time for TT1. The robotics bay is currently up for TT1 as well. Not yet researching that extended thermal lance, but seeing as we do have a Colossus on the way, I definitely expect that, yeah, there we go. Now we do see the extended thermal lance now coming down for TT1, and it looks like this factory is going to be able to get in here, and it looks like it will be able to see the Colossus actually coming out of this robotics facility. Is top going to be able to see it? Top, don't get too far away with that factory, buddy. You got to see the Colossus coming out, and yeah. Looks like, yep, there we go. He is able to see that Colossus has gone down. Yeah, I think he was. You guys think he was in range? I was trying to get vision of just top there, but I didn't quite manage to get it in time there. But I think he did actually see that Colossus go down. So the appropriate reaction is definitely going to be to get up some Vikings. And do we have another starport coming up? No, at this point in time, we just have more barracks being added on right now, and ooh, there we go. Now we have the starport being swapped onto that reactor. Is he going to start producing Vikings to be able to deal with that? He is taking a 3rd expansion here, and he's floating his factory over to see if TT1 has started to take his expansion yet. He's going to be pretty happy to see that TT1 has not yet actually started an expansion going down there, and that his 3rd expansion is going to be way ahead of his opponents right now. TT1 is ahead in the food count right now. That is worth noting at this point in time, that TT1 is up 97 to 89 food at this point in time. In the worker count right now, TT1 is still ahead in the workers, 54 harvesters to 50, but top, of course, once again, with those mules, is going to be ahead in the harvester count. And looks like he's going to be getting up, yeah, some more workers going down at that expansion. Now operating on all 4 of those gas geysers, and yeah, there we go. Now we have the Vikings coming out here for top, definitely responding to those Colossus that he saw going down. So it looks like it's going to be a big bioforce with Viking and medevac support here, with these Vikings able to take out all of those Colossi and the bioforces here. Looks like it's going to be a fairly marauder heavy focus, or at least I thought it was going to be. Where are the forces? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fairly marauder heavy build here, as we do have currently 3 barracks, I think, up with tech labs, 4 barracks up with tech labs at this point in time, and it looks like 1 with reactor, but it looks like that one is actually going to be swapped to produce another tech lab here. So we are going to have 5 barracks constantly churning out marauders. This is going to be a very, very strong little push against these gateway armies here, but it looks like TT1 finally decided to get aggressive. He does have 2 Colossi out on the field, and it looks like he's going to be moving in here to try to deal some damage here, but the Viking count for top is starting to get a little bit high, and if he controls this well and keeps these Vikings over this hole here, there's going to be a lot of trouble here for TT1, as he's going to have a lot of trouble focusing down these Vikings. And yeah, TT1 pulling back with those forces, and it looks like with this observer he was able to scout that this 3rd has gone down, and it looks like he's going to start to focus down these rocks right now. All these units are currently 0-0 in upgrades, no forge upgrades at this point in time for TT1. These ground forces for top are currently +1 in upgrades. They do have that +1 attack, and now more pylons being warped in here for TT1, looking to get really aggressive right now. 1 big hit goes down on that Colossi, and now all the forces, oh no, all the Zealots are actually trapped behind the Stalkers. The Stalkers taking a lot of damage right now as the Zealots move in. These Zealots do not have charge yet, and they are actually going down very, 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 very fast. Nice force fields, though, going down here for TT1, as TT1 continues to push in. Those Stalkers able to clean up that Viking count, as now TT1 continuing to try to push in right now. I'm going to actually have that unit's loss tab open right now, because I want to be able to see the forces and how much each player is losing at this point in time. TT1 is definitely a little bit behind, but Top being forced to pull all his workers off the line right now as TT1 falls back to all of his reinforcements. All the Marauders stimming in, moving in, doing a lot of damage to all these Stalkers. Are these Stalkers going to be able to hold? There is a lot of Marines here now up for Top, and Top is, I think, going to be able to stop this attack. Yes, all of the units of TT1 have fallen, and now Top pushing forward with a strong lead in the food supply, 77 to 59 currently, and now TT1 definitely in a little bit of a sketchy position here as he was really hoping that that 2-base push was gonna do it. Top was forced to pull that orbital command off of that 3rd base, but now he's just going to be planting that 3rd base right back down again, and now he's looking to get aggressive as he's now moving across the field with Vikings, Medivacs, Marines, and Marauders. They are now +1/+1 in upgrades, and now he's going to be pushing into his base. How is TT1 going to be able to deal with this kind of aggression? I don't see a lot currently out on the field here for TT1. He really needs to be getting up as many forces as he can, but this is such a big push here from Top considering the size of the army of TT1 at this point in time. One more Colossus now coming out right now, and here we go. Now all the Zealots are now moving in here. The Zealots need to get to the front of the line. Those Zealots for TT1 definitely not in the best position. He really needs charge on those Zealots. As you can see, those Zealots all just being kited right now by the forces of Top, and Top now landing his Vikings here to try to defeat the rest of these forces. If he can break this front line, I think he's going to be in a fantastic position to win this game. The Colossus is now out though, and it looks like TT1 is going to be able to clean up that attack, and it looks like that one Medivac is going to go down there to these Stalkers. And now TT1, did he have to pull off workers there? I actually didn't realize. Yeah, he actually did have to pull off workers there to be able to deal with that, unless, oh man, I'm actually kind of worried that I might have missed a drop there. You know what, I'm going to go check it out. At the end of this game, I'm going to see if a drop went down, because that was actually a lot of workers that were gone there. That I'm kind of surprised that there were that many workers gone there for TT1. Yeah, as you can see there, both players have a lot of workers lost, and both players are in a not the best worker position right now, so I'm actually going to go back at the end of this game and check that out. I apologize if I did miss a drop there. That would have been huge. That would have been a big deal there, and it looks like it might have actually done a lot of damage to TT1, as TT1 is now struggling to get back up in food supply, currently 97 to 76 food right now. Top does have his 3rd base up and running, and FnaticMSiTT's TT1 still has not even started to get a 3rd up. Looks like he's going to try to be aggressive and try to end this on 2 base right now, as he's getting up more forces right now. Once again, the Zealots kind of starting out of position there. Definitely not the biggest fan. Vikings now moving in, taking out the Colossus, and it looks like that is going to be the end of TT1. There's just too many Marauders currently out here on the field with a nice smattering of Marines. Marines, of course, do have a higher DPS, actually, than Marauders do. And there's the GG1, or the GG1. The GG1 from TT. The GG from TT1. Let's actually go back real quick and check out whether that was a drop that went down during that big engagement here. I'm going to speed this up. We are going to super put this replay in high speed. There's the factory going in. It's a little after this, right? Yeah, here we go. Still no quite engagement yet. Where's that engagement? I should have probably checked the time that engagement went down, huh? Yeah, that was my bad. Here goes. Here is the big push coming in for TT1. Lots of damage being dealt to the destructible rocks as he moves into this 3rd base. And here's the engagement. Sorry, you guys, if you guys are seeing lag, it is because I am playing this replay at super fast speed. And no, it looks like no drop actually went down during that engagement. Yeah, nope, looks like all that was actually here, and the worker damage was done as he pushed into his opponent's base. So, that's going to do it, guys. I don't see, no drops going down at all. So, that's going to be it, guys. That is going to be this entire best of 3. Top did manage to take this best of 3 2-1 to TT1's just 2-base style. Didn't ever expand. I think he really should have expanded on that 3rd base as he pushed out there, but didn't quite get that done. Really wanted to end that game on 2-base. So Top was able to just beat him out there. I really think those Zealots would have made a huge difference. Those Zealots not being at the front line at every one of those engagements, I think really hurt TT1 in those engagements, but Top was able to take the win and move on in the tournament. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every single view that I get on every one of these videos. Go follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/getglitched. That is where you can find all my StarCraft related status updates, as well as anytime I post a new video on YouTube, it gets automatically posted to my Twitter account. So go check it out and follow me there. And also, if you just want to follow me there just so that you can see all the huge number of StarCraft people that I subscribe to, I try to subscribe to every pro that I know about. on Twitter. So if for nothing else, go follow me so that you can go check out all the other cool pros that are out there on Twitter. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Big heart to you guys, and Glitch out.